My name is Allison, and I'm a former home-based baker turned retail bakery shop owner. And it wasn't that long ago when I was running my bakeries that I was finding myself getting overstressed and overworked while trying to work in my business and at the same time work on my business. So I found ways to save time, save money, and have more freedom. And I'm here to share those tips with you so that you can grow your side hustle into the baking business of your dreams. Hey everyone! Welcome to Hot Topics Live. It's Monday, 2 p.m. Central Time, and here inside the Home Bakery Business Tips Facebook group, that means that it is time for another episode of Hot Topics Live. Now, so many of you have been flooding my Facebook feed, my Instagram feed with beautiful pictures of the cookies that you have been baking this weekend. And it is just like so wonderful to see the creativity that you all are capable of. I am in awe, like literally blown away by the quality of work that you guys have been doing. So hats off to you. Today's episode is all about tips for pricing and selling those cookies. So if you're still looking for strategies to sell more cookies, then today's Hot Topics Live is for you. Now, we always go live on Monday at 2 p.m. inside the Home Bakery Business Tips Facebook group, but many of you have something else going on that time of day. You've got sticky fingers, you've got little ones running around, whatever it is, it doesn't work for you. And some people have told me that it's a little hard to find the live stream inside the Facebook group. So you can always jump over to YouTube and watch it because I also stream this broadcast over on YouTube. So a shout out to our YouTube family as well. If you are just discovering Hot Topics Live, then welcome. I'm glad you're here. I share tips and strategies to help you run your home baking business better in 15 minutes or less every week. So go ahead and subscribe to this channel if you're watching in YouTube so you get a little notification when I go live, and it's your time to take a break and learn a new strategy for the week. So last week, I announced a new segment that we're going to be having here in Hot Topics Live, and it was called the Home-Based Baker of the Week. If you want to, after you watch this segment and you're like, I would love to be featured, then scroll to the description on this video, wherever you're watching, inside the Facebook group or over on YouTube. There's a link that will take you to a short survey. I want to ask you a few questions, get to know you a little bit, and then I randomly choose the Home Baker of the Week. So look for the link to apply to be the Home-Based Baker of the Week, and you could be next. So this week's Home-Based Baker of the Week, I'm super excited to introduce you all to Amber of the Crumb Bummery. And she was chosen to be this week's Home Baker of the Week. I'm going to show you what her adorable logo looks like. There's Amber's logo. You can follow her at the Crumb Bummery on Instagram. And let me tell you a little bit about Amber and why she is super inspirational and you should follow her. So Amber has been baking for like less than a year. Amber says that she started her home-based bakery in May of 2022, and she is a home-based baker who lives in the United States in Illinois. When I asked her to describe what she sells, she says that she makes beautiful, giftable baked treats. And if you want to see some examples of Amber's beautiful, giftable baked treats, you can go over and follow her on Instagram. And they really are beautiful. I actually think Amber I started following her before she started following me just because I was so drawn to her photographs on her Instagram page. So, you can go and find hers and see what kind of beautiful giftable baked treats that she makes. And one of the things that when I asked what kind of tip could you share with the group, she says that her tip for the group is that presentation really matters, not just on your baked goods, but your logo and packaging, and to keep those consistent. And Amber, I think you do a fantastic job with that, of including your brand in all of your product photos that you share on your Instagram page. It's really cute the way that you pull it all together. So, congrats on that. I think that's super inspirational. And when I asked Amber what she could really use help with right now, she said she can really use help to continue to grow her business. And I would love to hear about how your business has grown at the end of this season. So taking a look at May to the end of December, and really get some measurable statistics. So my tip for you there is to record a month end every month. This doesn't mean you need to get a degree in bookkeeping or learn a whole bunch of complicated terms. Just start measuring numbers every month. How many hot cocoa bombs did I sell? How many vendor events did I go to? How many transactions did I have? How much did I make in revenue? And give yourself something to measure, because sometimes we don't even see the growth that we have. So Amber said, I said, is there anything else that you want to add? And she said, I'm so happy to be a part of the group, that you've already learned so much. And just by looking at your beautiful Instagram feed and all of the content that you share, I can tell that you've been working so hard on your business. So congrats, Amber. You're going to win a 15-minute strategy call with me. And I am so excited to spend 15 minutes with you working on one thing that you're stuck on in your business. One other thing that I loved about checking out Amber's page when she got chosen as Home Baker of the Week is that Amber was part of my email list during Thanksgiving when I shared the deal of the day, which was flash sale in a box. And Amber is literally doing flash sale in a box right now. It's a step-by-step process for how to do a flash sale. And I am loving your Instagram feed because you're literally putting all of those things that I recommend into action over on your page. So I'm also going to link the flash sale in a box kit, which you can purchase if you're interested, if you want the step-by-step process of how to have a successful flash sale on your Instagram or your personal or your business Facebook page, then check out that link in the description as well. So again, if you want to apply to be Baker of the Week, the link with the questionnaire is also in the description, and you win a 15-minute strategy session, get a shout out in the group. And you know what, you guys, give her a follow. It's inspiring to watch other bakers and also grow your network as well. So much fun. I hope you guys are liking Home Baker of the Week. Give me a thumbs up in the comments if that was inspiring for you. Now, let's get into today's topic. We are talking about how to price your homemade cookies. And today's tips come from a blog post that I published a week and a half ago. So now that I am so much better at sharing my screen on these lives, let me go ahead and just show that blog post to you. There it is. So this is an entire blog post on how to price your homemade cookies for a profit. And if you would like to read this full blog post, it's full of tips and strategies. You can grab the link out of the description and check it out. But let's get to some of the highlights from that blog post. First of all, if you do nothing else, I want you to count the yield in your recipe. So you have a ton of cookie recipes right now. You probably are like, how many different types of cookies can I get done? Or maybe you're someone who's like, nope, I'm offering 3 and that's it. Be really accurate with your recipe and count how many cookies that recipe makes. So you're going to be pricing your cookies by the each or by the dozen, whichever way you want. You're just going to be dividing your total cost of all of the ingredients that it takes you to produce that recipe. And then you need to divide it by how many cookies it makes. Does it make 4 dozen? Does it make 24? If you don't know how many cookies that recipe makes, then you won't be able to break it down to a price that you can quote. So get in there and count what you baked, write it down on your recipe so you have it the next time you need it, but go ahead and count your yield. So a question that comes up often is, should you be pricing by the each or by the dozen? And this would really depend on your menu and how you sell your cookies. So if you are somebody who sells your cookies on a big mixed platter, and that platter includes a dozen of your mini biscottis, a dozen of your Italian wedding cookies, a dozen pizzelle, then price by the dozen, because that's how you're putting them on the tray. You don't need an each price if you're always selling by the dozen. But if you're selling a larger cookie that you sell 3 of this one, 3 of that one, and 3 of the other one, then you do need to get down to the each price on those. And whether you're going by the dozen or by the each, you still need to know exactly how many cookies your recipe makes. Okay, so I touched on my tip number 2 a second ago, and that is to add up the cost of all the ingredients that you use in that recipe. And I suggest keeping a master list of everything that you buy, and the things that you're going to want to record on there are the name of the ingredient. You may decide to record where you got it from so that you can remember where you got that good price or where you paid too much, the size of the container, and then how much it costs. 3 key things: what it is, the size of the container, how much it costs, and then optional if you want to add where you got it from. This is so you can constantly be referencing the latest price of your ingredients, right? So you want to know if your butter's up to $4.50 or $4.99 a pound, then you want to cost your recipes based on the $4.99 a pound butter, not based on last year's $2.99 a pound butter. So keep a current list and update it frequently. All right. Tip number 3. This is where I feel like a lot of bakers are losing money. So heads up, a lot of bakers are losing money here, and this is in tracking your labor. So you need to include the time that it takes you to mix your recipe, scoop your recipe, roll the dough, cut the dough, ice things if they need icing, and then package them. There's a lot of them, a lot of steps where you could have labor. This is not where you're going to pay yourself for the time that it takes you to go to the grocery store or the time that it takes you to sell at the farmer's market or your vendor event or your pop-up. This is just the labor that it takes to make the recipe. And I don't include the labor the time that my cookies bake for, because I'm mixing another recipe at that point and I'm already counting my labor there. I'm doing other things, but I'm really looking for the time that you have to put into making that recipe, because that's part of your cost. So you're going to have the cost of your ingredients and the cost of your packaging, and then the cost of your labor. So this is where a lot of people are losing money, because they're not tracking that labor carefully enough. And they're like, gosh, I baked all these cookie platters, but I was up all night, all weekend. I'm completely burned out. And you need to pay yourself for that time. Now, if you're asking, where do you pay yourself for being at the market or running to the store or doing your social media? That comes from your profits. And in order to have enough profit after you sell your cookie boxes or your cookie platters, you need to mark up your costs. And to mark up your costs, I'm going to tell you flat out, my biggest pet peeve is the 3x your cost method. That doesn't work. I've proved it wrong on so many different training videos and webinars that it's not going to be enough to cover all of your expenses and have you make enough profit. So you can mark up all of your costs by a percentage. The percentages are different depending on where you can live. 30%, 50%. I have bakers that make in my coaching program that are making up to 60% profit. It depends on where you live, what your skill level is, who your target market is, but you do need to mark it up so that you're covering all of your expenses. Now, if you are looking for tips to sell your baked goods, I have an Instagram story today. If you're following me on Instagram, go to my stories. It's at Better Baker Club on Instagram. And I shared a cookie selling tip in my story that I would love to hear from you if you're going to try it. It is literally like a 4-story slide for how to sell cookies in your stories. So if you're an Instagram user, go check out the at Better Baker Club stories today and get some tips for selling your baked goods there as well. All right. So I always say I'm keeping it under 15 minutes. I got to talk fast to get all that info in there. But cookie pricing tips, recap. Count your yield on all your recipes. 2, keep a master list of all your ingredients. Record how much you're paying and update it frequently. Number 3, track your labor. This is, put a star next to that one if you're taking notes. Track your labor. And then number 4 is mark it up for profit. So these 4 steps plus a whole lot more detail and example are spelled out in the blog post that I posted this week, how to price your homemade cookies. The link is in the description to this video. You can go read through that blog post if you want. There's even a little opt-in there if you want to see an example of a training video of me actually pricing it out. You can sign up to get access to that video. So if you want to learn more, there's some resources for you to learn a little bit more. All right, guys, it is my time is up. I hope you picked up a cookie pricing tip this week. Let me know in the comments which one of those cookie pricing tips was new to you or you need to work on. I would love to see your comments. I want to thank you for joining and remind you that I am looking for home-based bakers for next week's spotlight. So go find that link and sign up. The quiz takes about 2 or 3 minutes and you could win a 15-minute strategy session. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Happy baking. And I will see you same time, same place next week.